The emergency alarm screamed through the medical station. Dr. Zixathala lifted her forearms from the research console and turned her crystalline head toward the main screen. Her species, the Keplerians, had perfect hearing across 12 different sound ranges. The alarm meant only one thing: incoming casualties. "Doctor, we have a damaged human freighter requesting emergency docking," said Nurse Kilvin. Her voice came through the translation device attached to her neck. Engine explosion. Multiple crew injuries reported. Zixathala had been working at the Galactic Medical Station for 30 years. She had treated beings from 47 different species. Humans were still new to galactic space, but she had read their medical files. They seemed fragile compared to most species. Soft skin, single hearts, weak bones made of calcium instead of crystal or metal. "How many crew members?" Zixathala asked. "5 humans total. Captain requests immediate medical attention for all crew." The station floated in space near Proxima Centauri. It was built by the Galactic Medical Council to help ships traveling between star systems. The best doctors from many worlds worked here. Zixathala was proud to be the head of emergency medicine. "Prepare Medical Bay 3, she ordered. "Get the human anatomy scanners ready. Check the bone repair equipment." Zixathala walked through the curved halls of the station. Her crystalline feet clicked on the metal floor. She had 4 eyes that could see in different light types. Her people were known across the galaxy for their medical skills. Keplerians could regrow lost limbs and fix almost any injury. The docking bay doors opened with a hiss. The human ship looked terrible. Black marks covered the white hull. One engine was completely gone. Smoke came from several holes in the side. Zixathala was surprised the ship had made it to the station at all. The airlock opened. Zixathala expected to see humans carried out on stretchers. Instead, a woman in a blue uniform walked out. She moved a bit slowly and held her left arm close to her body. But she was walking. "You must be the doctor," the human said. "I'm Captain Sarah Chen, thanks for taking us in." Zixathala stared. According to the ship's message, this was the same captain who had reported serious injuries to all crew members. The woman in front of her looked tired but alert. Her skin had some cuts and bruises. Her uniform was torn in places, but she was standing and talking normally. "Captain Chen, where are your injuries?" Zixathala asked through her translator. "Oh, I'm banged up pretty good," Sarah said. She tried to shrug but stopped halfway. "Nothing I can't handle, though. My crew needs help first." Behind Sarah, 4 other humans came out of the ship. One man had his arm in a makeshift sling. Another woman limped badly on her right leg. A third human had bandages wrapped around his head. The 4th crew member had burns on her hands and arms. "These injuries look serious," Zixathala said. "You should all lie down immediately." "We can walk to your medical bay," Sarah said. "Lead the way, Doc." Zixathala was confused. In her experience, injured beings usually needed help moving. Most species would be unconscious from shock with injuries like these. But all 5 humans were awake and walking. The medical bay was the most advanced treatment center in this part of the galaxy. White walls curved around beds that could adjust to any body type. Machines hung from the ceiling, ready to scan and heal different kinds of life forms. "Please lie down on the beds," Zixathala said. The 4 injured crew members sat on the beds. Sarah remained standing. "I'll wait until you check them out," she said. "I'm the captain. My crew comes first." Zixathala began examining the first patient. Engineer Martinez had a broken arm. The bone was snapped clean through. Any Keplerian with this injury would be screaming in pain. Martinez was awake and chatting with his captain about engine repairs. "How do you feel?" Zixathala asked Martinez. "Pretty sore," he said. "But I've had worse." "Remember that mining accident on Kepler 442b, Captain? That really hurt," Sarah laughed. "You walked around for 2 days with broken ribs. Wouldn't let anyone else handle the plasma couplers." Zixathala's 4 eyes widened. Martinez had worked for 2 days with broken ribs? That was impossible. Broken ribs meant damage to breathing and internal organs. No species could function with that kind of injury. She moved to the next patient. Navigator Johnson had a badly sprained ankle. The joint was swollen and dark blue. Johnson should not be able to put any weight on it. "This ankle needs immediate treatment," Zixathala said. "It's not that bad," Johnson replied. "I can still walk on it. Hurts some, but I've walked farther on worse injuries." Zixathala looked at the burns on Communications Officer Torres. The skin was red and blistered. Burns like these usually meant severe pain and shock. Torres was sitting up and asking about sending messages to their company. The head injury on Security Officer Park looked serious too. He had a cut across his forehead and bruising around both eyes. Most beings with head trauma this bad would be unconscious. Do you have headaches? Dizziness, nausea? Zixthala asked Park. A little headache, Park said. Nothing major. I can see fine and think clearly. Zixthala had never seen anything like this. 5 humans with serious injuries, and they were all awake and talking. They seemed more worried about their ship than their own bodies. Captain Chen, she said, please let me examine you now. Sure thing, Doc, Sarah said. She sat on the last bed. Zixthala activated the medical scanner. The device was designed to work on dozens of different species. It sent out waves that could see inside any type of body. The scanner hummed as it moved over Sarah's body. The first thing Zixthala noticed was how dense human bones were. Keplerian bones were made of crystal and metal. They were strong but light. Human bones were thick and heavy. The scanner had trouble seeing through them clearly. Your skeletal structure is very dense, Zixthala said. Is that bad? Sarah asked. No, just different from most species we treat here. The scanner finished its first pass. Zixthala looked at the results on her screen. She saw several broken ribs. Sarah's left collarbone was cracked. Her left arm showed a fracture in the radius bone. Captain, you have multiple broken bones, Zixthala said. How are you still conscious? Sarah looked at the scanner display. She could see the bright line showing where her bones were broken. Oh, that, she said. Yeah, I figured something was busted up. The explosion threw me pretty hard against a wall. You figured something was busted up? Zixthala repeated. You have broken ribs, a cracked collarbone, and a fractured arm. You should be in extreme pain. It hurts, Sarah admitted, but I've dealt with worse. Had to get my crew to safety first. Zixthala stared at the human captain. In 30 years of medicine, she had never met a being who could function normally with so many broken bones. Most species would die from shock with injuries this severe. We need to get you into surgery immediately, Zixthala said. Will my crew be okay first? Sarah asked. Yes, but your injuries are more serious than theirs. Then we can wait a bit longer. I'm not going anywhere. Zixthala looked around the medical bay. 5 humans with serious injuries, and they were all more concerned about each other than themselves. She had heard stories about human toughness, but seeing it was completely different. She began to wonder what other surprises these strange beings might have. 3 hours later, Dr. Zixthala finally convinced Captain Chen to let her do a complete medical examination. The other crew members were being treated by her medical team. Their injuries were serious but straightforward to fix. This will take about an hour, Zixthala told Sarah. I need to scan your entire body to see all the damage. Take your time, Doc, Sarah said. She lay back on the examination table. Just don't keep me here too long. I need to contact my company about the ship. Zixthala activated the deep tissue scanner. This machine was the most advanced medical device on the station. It could see every bone, muscle, and organ in perfect detail. The scanner was built by the finest engineers from 6 different worlds. The machine hummed to life. Beams of energy passed through Sarah's body from every angle. The computer began building a 3-dimensional image of her internal structure. Zixthala watched the display as layer after layer appeared on her screen. First came the skeleton. Zixthala had seen human bones before, but never this clearly. They were incredibly thick and dense, much stronger than Keplerian crystal bones. The computer highlighted areas of damage in bright red. Zixthala counted the red areas. 7, 8, 10, 15. She counted again to make sure. 17 different breaks and fractures showed on the display. This cannot be correct, she said out loud. Something wrong, Doc? Sarah asked. The scanner shows 17 broken bones in your body. 17? Wow, that's more than I thought. Zixthala stared at her patient. Sarah sounded like she was talking about the weather. No fear, no concern, just mild interest. Captain, do you understand what I just said? 17 broken bones, I heard you. That explains why everything hurts so much. How are you alive? Zixthala asked. How are you awake? How are you talking to me? Sarah lifted her head to look at the display screen. The image showed her skeleton with red marks all over it. Broken ribs, cracked collarbone, fractured arm bone, damaged pelvis, and more. It looks pretty bad when you put it like that, Sarah said. But honestly, I've been hurt worse. Zixthala activated her communicator. Nurse Kilvin, please come to examination room 1 immediately. Bring Dr. Vorth and Dr. Senth too. Is there a problem? Sarah asked. I need second opinions. And third opinions. Within minutes, 3 alien doctors crowded around the scanner display. Dr. Vorth was a Zephyrian. tall and thin with purple skin. Dr. Senth was a reptilian with green scales and yellow eyes. All three species were known for their medical knowledge. Run the scan again, Dr. Vorth said. The machine must be broken. Zixathala ran the scan 2 more times. The results were identical. 17 broken bones. The human was lying calmly on the table, watching the doctors with curiosity. I have seen many species in 40 years of medicine, Dr. Senth said. Her voice was a low hiss. No being can function with this level of damage. Maybe human anatomy is different than we thought, Dr. Vorth suggested. Zixathala looked closer at the scan results. Something else caught her attention. Some of the broken bones showed signs of healing. The computer dated the injuries at different times. Captain Chen, when did you break these ribs? She asked, pointing to 3 ribs on the right side. Which ones? Sarah squinted at the screen. Oh, those! About 6 months ago. Mining accident on Kepler 442b. These rib fractures show partial healing, Zixathala said, but they were never treated properly. How did you survive? Wrapped them up tight with some bandages. Hurt like crazy for a few weeks, but I had cargo to deliver. You worked with broken ribs for weeks? Had to. Couldn't get to a medical station. People were counting on that cargo. Dr. Vorth made a sound like a whistle. In his species, that meant extreme surprise. This arm fracture is older too, Dr. Senth observed. At least 3 months old. Also healed without treatment. Yeah, that happened during a bar fight on Titan Station, Sarah said. Some guy didn't like humans. Threw a bottle at my head. I ducked, but it hit my arm. You fought with a broken arm? Zixathala asked. I finished the fight first, then dealt with the arm. Couldn't let the guy think humans were weak. The 3 doctors looked at each other. In their species, a single broken bone usually meant weeks in a medical facility. Multiple breaks meant death from shock and pain. Let me scan for pain levels, Dr. Vorth said. He activated a neural scanner that could measure how much pain a being was feeling. The machine beeped and displayed its results. Sarah's pain receptors were firing constantly. The levels showed she should be experiencing agony with every breath. According to this scanner, you should be unconscious from pain, Dr. Vorth said. It does hurt quite a bit, Sarah admitted. But pain is just pain. You deal with it and keep going. How? Dr. Senth asked. Pain exists to warn us of danger. It forces rest and healing. Humans see it differently, I guess. Pain tells us something is wrong, but it doesn't stop us from doing what needs to be done. Zixathala was taking notes as fast as she could write. This was the most important medical discovery of her career. Maybe of any doctor's career. Tell me about other injuries you have had, she said. Sarah thought for a moment. Broke my leg in 2 places during a shuttle crash 3 years ago. Walked 5 kilometers to the nearest settlement. You walked on a broken leg? Had to. My pilot was unconscious and bleeding. I carried him most of the way. What about illnesses? Diseases? Got some kind of fever on Rigel 7. Temperature hit 104 degrees. Hallucinating and everything. But I had to finish loading cargo, so I worked through it. Dr. Vorth's whistle sound got louder. 104 degrees would kill most species. It wasn't fun, Sarah said. But it passed after a few days. Zixathala looked at the scanner results again. She noticed something else unusual. Sarah's bones were not just broken, they were incredibly dense and strong. Even damaged, they were probably stronger than healthy bones in most species. Your bone density is remarkable, she said. Much higher than our database shows for humans. I do a lot of physical work. Maybe that helps. This level of density should make your bones nearly unbreakable. Well, 17 breaks says otherwise. Sarah laughed. That is exactly my point, Zixathala said. If these bones can break, what kind of force hit you? Sarah thought about the explosion that damaged her ship. The blast threw me about 10 meters into a steel wall. Hit pretty hard. 10 meters into steel? Dr. Senth's eyes widened. That impact should have killed you instantly. Knocked me out for a few minutes. When I woke up, I had to help my crew. The 3 doctors stood in silence. They were looking at a being that defied everything they knew about biology and medicine. A creature that could survive impacts that should be fatal, work through injuries that should be crippling, and remain conscious during pain that should cause death. We need to contact the Galactic Medical Council, Zixathala said. Is that bad? Sarah asked. No, Captain. It might be the most important medical discovery in galactic history. Word spread quickly through the medical station. Within an hour, doctors from 6 different species had crowded into Examination Room 1. They all wanted to see the impossible human. Dr. Zixathala tried to keep order as more medical staff arrived. Keplerian doctors with their crystal bodies, Forthak pain specialists who looked like giant blue spiders, reptilian surgeons with their precise scaled hands. Even the ethereal healers who rarely left their energy chambers came to observe. "Please maintain professional distance," Zixathala announced. "The patient needs space to breathe." Sarah looked around at all the alien faces staring at her. Some had multiple eyes. Others had tentacles instead of arms. A few seemed to be made of pure energy. "This is like something out of a science fiction movie," she said, "except I'm the alien." Dr. Moravec, the station's chief Forthak pain specialist, approached the examination table. His species experienced extreme pain from even minor injuries. A small cut could knock a Vorthak unconscious for days. "Captain Chen, I must conduct my own pain analysis," he said through his translator. His voice sounded like clicking sounds mixed with static. "Sure thing, Doc, just don't poke too hard." Dr. Moravec activated a device that looked like a metal spider. It walked across Sarah's body on thin legs, scanning her nervous system. The machine could detect the smallest pain signals and measure their intensity. The results appeared on a holographic display for everyone to see. Sarah's entire nervous system was lit up in red. Every nerve was screaming pain signals to her brain. "This is impossible," Dr. Moravec clicked. "Pain levels this high should cause immediate unconsciousness, possibly death from shock." "I told you it hurts," Sarah said. "But you just push through it." "Push through it?" Dr. Moravec's multiple eyes blinked in sequence. "How does one push through maximum pain?" "You focus on what needs to be done instead of what hurts. Mind over matter, I guess." Dr. Senth, the reptilian surgeon, studied the bone scans more carefully. Her people had redundant organ systems that could keep them alive even with major injuries, but they still felt normal amounts of pain. "These fracture patterns are fascinating," she hissed. "Look at how the bones are healing." She pointed to Sarah's ribs on the display. The broken bones were growing back together, but in a stronger pattern than before. The new bone formation was denser and thicker. "Your bones are repairing themselves better than they were originally," Dr. Senth said. "That's good, right?" Sarah asked. "It suggests your species has evolved to expect regular bone damage. Your body's planned for it." Dr. Zixathala was recording everything. The medical implications were staggering. If humans could naturally heal from severe injuries while remaining functional, it changed everything about galactic medicine. "Captain, may I ask about your background?" she said. "What is normal activity for humans?" "You mean like work?" "I've been a freighter captain for 8 years. Before that, I worked construction and mining." "Are these dangerous occupations?" "Every job has its risks. Construction sites, mining operations, space travel. Accidents happen. You deal with them and keep working." Engineer Martinez called out from his bed across the room. His broken arm was already in a healing cast. "Tell them about the time you worked 3 days with food poisoning, Captain." "That wasn't a big deal," Sarah replied. "Just felt sick and weak. But the cargo had to be delivered on time." Dr. Vorth, the tall purple Zephyrian, moved closer. His species was known for precise biological measurements. "Food poisoning severe enough to cause weakness should prevent all activity," he said. "Should prevent, maybe. But it doesn't," Sarah said. "Humans are pretty tough." Dr. Moravec ran another pain scan, this time focusing on Sarah's brain. The results showed something even more remarkable. Her brain was actively suppressing pain signals, not just ignoring them, but actually reducing their intensity. "Your brain has natural pain management systems," he clicked excitedly. "Pain signals are being filtered and reduced before they reach consciousness. Is that unusual?" "Extremely. Most species feel all pain signals at full intensity. It forces rest and healing." "Sounds awful," Sarah said. "How do you get anything done?" Security Officer Park spoke up from his bed. "Captain, remember when I dislocated my shoulder last year? Worked my shift anyway." "That's different," Sarah replied. "You just popped it back in place." "You popped a dislocated shoulder back into place?" Dr. Senth's yellow eyes widened. "Without surgical intervention?" "Sure," Park called out. "Hurts like hell, but it's not complicated. You just grab the arm and shove it back where it belongs." The alien doctors exchanged looks of amazement. A dislocated shoulder required precise surgical realignment in every species they knew. The idea of manually forcing it back into place was terrifying. Navigator Johnson added her own story. "I once had appendicitis during a long cargo run. Couldn't get to a medical station for 2 weeks, and what did you do?" Dr. Zixathala asked. "Took some pain medication and hoped for the best." It worked out fine. Appendicitis can be fatal if untreated, Dr. Vorth said. Yeah, I know. But I didn't have much choice. Dr. Zixathala was beginning to understand something important. These humans weren't just tough by accident. Their entire culture seemed built around working through pain and injury. They expected to be hurt and planned for it. Do all humans have this pain tolerance? She asked. Pretty much, Sarah said. Some are tougher than others, but everyone learns to deal with pain growing up. How do you learn such a thing? Sarah thought about her childhood on Earth, playing sports, falling off bicycles, getting into fights with other kids. Every human child learned that pain was temporary and not a reason to quit. Life hurts sometimes, she said. You can either let it stop you or keep going. Most humans choose to keep going. Communications Officer Torres joined the conversation from her bed. Her burns were healing faster than expected. My grandmother used to say pain is just weakness leaving the body, she said. What does that mean? Dr. Moravec asked. Pain makes you stronger. Each time you push through it, you become tougher. The alien doctors were furiously taking notes. This conversation was revealing as much about human psychology as their medical scans were revealing about human biology. Dr. Zixathala looked at her scanner readings again. Sarah's broken bones were already showing signs of healing after just a few hours. The human body seemed designed to repair itself quickly and efficiently. Your healing rate is accelerated too, she observed. We heal pretty fast, Sarah agreed. Have to, can't stay injured forever. Most species require weeks of rest for bone healing. Weeks of rest? Sarah laughed. Who has time for that? Bills don't pay themselves. Dr. Zixathala realized she was witnessing something unprecedented, a species that not only survived in the galaxy's harsh environment, but actually thrived in it. Humans didn't just tolerate pain and injury. They expected it and prepared for it. She activated her quantum communicator to contact the Galactic Medical Council headquarters. This discovery would change everything they thought they knew about biology, medicine, and survival. Dr. Zixathala stood before the holographic display of the Galactic Medical Council. 12 alien faces looked back at her from across the galaxy. These were the most respected medical minds from dozens of worlds. Council members, she began. I am reporting a discovery that challenges everything we understand about biology and survival. The council chairman, an ancient crystalline being named Korthul, spoke first. His voice came through dimensional translators that made his words echo strangely. Dr. Zixathala, your emergency communication mentioned impossible medical readings. Please explain. I have examined a human female with 17 simultaneous bone fractures. She is conscious, mobile, and refuses strong pain medication. She claims this level of injury is normal for her species. Council member Veltar, a gaseous being from the Andromeda galaxy, shifted his cloudy form. 17 fractures would kill most species instantly from shock. That is correct. But this human continues to function normally. She is more concerned about her damaged ship than her own injuries. Dr. Zixathala transmitted her scan results to the council. She watched their reactions as the data appeared on their screens. Several council members made sounds of disbelief in their native languages. Run additional scans, ordered Dr. Hemseth, an insectoid specialist from Rigel. These readings must be incorrect. I have run 6 different diagnostic systems. All show the same results. I have also examined the humans' crew members. They display similar pain tolerance and healing capabilities. While the council discussed her findings, Zixathala returned to the medical bay. She wanted to learn more about human capabilities before making her final report. Captain Chen, she said, I need to ask you more questions about human physiology. Sure. Doc, fire away. How much pain can humans tolerate before losing consciousness? Sarah thought about the question. That's hard to say. I've never met anyone who passed out just from pain. People pass out from blood loss or head injuries, but not from pain alone. Never? Zixathala's 4 eyes widened. Pain serves as a protection mechanism. It should force unconsciousness to prevent further damage. Human pain doesn't work that way. It hurts, but it doesn't shut us down. Dr. Zixathala activated her personal computer and accessed the Galactic Medical Database. She searched for human medical records from their home system. What she found amazed her even more. Humans participated in activities they called sports that involved deliberately inflicting pain and injury on each other. Boxing, wrestling, martial arts, they competed to see who could endure more damage. Captain, humans engage in combat sports for entertainment? Oh yeah, very popular on Earth. I used to box in college. You voluntarily engaged in combat that caused injuries? It was fun. Good exercise too. Nothing like a hard fight to make you feel alive. Zixathala found records of something called extreme sports. Humans jumped from great heights, climbed dangerous mountains, and raced vehicles at deadly speeds. They seem to actively seek out dangerous activities. Why do humans pursue dangerous activities? She asked. Life's boring if it's safe all the time. A little danger makes things interesting. The concept was completely foreign to Zixathala. Her species, like most galactic civilizations, avoided all unnecessary risks. Safety and comfort were the highest priorities. She discovered records of human military forces. The medical files made her crystalline skin crawl. Human soldiers routinely continued, fighting with injuries that would disable entire armies of other species. Your military personnel have remarkable injury tolerance, she said. Soldiers are trained to push through pain, Sarah replied. Can't let your team down just because you're hurt. Even with broken bones? Especially with broken bones. That's when your team needs you most. Engineer Martinez called out from across the room. Captain, tell her about Sergeant Williams. Oh, that's a good story, Sarah said. Sergeant Williams was our security chief before Park. During a pirate attack, he took shrapnel in both legs. Kept fighting for 3 hours until we drove them off. 3 hours with leg injuries? Zixathala asked. The shrapnel hit arteries too. He was bleeding pretty badly, but he wouldn't leave his post until the ship was safe. How did he survive blood loss for 3 hours? Willpower mostly, and a lot of bandages. Dr. Zixathala was beginning to understand that human toughness went beyond just physical capabilities. Their psychology was equally remarkable. They seemed to draw strength from adversity instead of being broken by it. She found records of human colonization efforts. Humans had settled on worlds that other species considered uninhabitable. Planets with extreme temperatures, dangerous atmospheres, and hostile life forms. Humans colonized death worlds? She asked. Death worlds? Sarah looked confused. You mean frontier planets? Sure, that's where the good opportunities are. These planets have conditions that would kill most galactic species. They're challenging, but that's what makes them worth settling. Easy planets are already taken. Dr. Zixathala pulled up specific examples. Kepler 442b, where Sarah had broken her ribs, was classified as the extreme environment world. Temperatures ranged from -40 to +60 degrees Celsius. The atmosphere contained toxic gases that required breathing equipment. You worked on Kepler 442b for months with broken ribs. It was a good contract. High pay for dangerous work. The planet is listed as uninhabitable in our database. Uninhabitable? There are 3 mining colonies and a trading post there. Maybe 50,000 people total. 50,000 humans living and working on a planet that the Galactic Council considered too dangerous to visit. Zixathala realized that humans didn't just survive hostile environments. They preferred them. She accessed more records and found an alarming pattern. Everywhere humans went, they seemed to thrive in conditions that challenged or killed other species. They worked in radiation zones, extreme temperatures, and high-pressure environments. Captain, are humans aware that other species consider your activities extremely dangerous? I guess we're tougher than most aliens, Sarah said. But we don't think of ourselves as special. You are far beyond special. You are unprecedented. Navigator Johnson spoke up from her bed. Doc, you should see the athletic records from Earth. Some humans run over 100 kilometers without stopping. 100 kilometers? Zixathala checked her conversion charts. That is impossible. No known species can maintain activity for that duration. It's called ultramarathon running, Johnson said. Some races go for days. Days of continuous physical activity, with very short breaks for food and water. The really crazy ones do it across deserts or over mountains. Dr. Zixathala sat down heavily in her chair. Every piece of information made humans seem more impossible. They were not just surviving in the galaxy. They were excelling in ways that defied all known biological limits. Her communicator chimed. The Galactic Medical Council was calling for her final report. Dr. Zixathala, came Chairman Korthul's voice. Have you completed your investigation? Yes, Council Chairman. My findings are confirmed. Humans possess pain tolerance, healing capabilities, and environmental adaptability that exceed all known species by enormous margins. What are your recommendations? Zixathala looked at Sarah, who was sitting up and asking when she could return to her ship. 17 broken bones, and she wanted to get back to work. I recommend immediate reclassification of human threat assessment, she said. If they can survive this level of physical trauma while remaining functional, we need to reconsider their military capabilities. Explain further. Council Chairman, if a human civilian can work for months with broken ribs, what can their soldiers endure? If they colonize death worlds for entertainment, what environments can they fight in? The silence from the council was telling. Zix Thala could see them processing the implications. Prepare a full report immediately, Chairman Korthul ordered. This information must be shared with all galactic governments. The communication ended. Dr. Zix Thala realized that her medical examination had become something much larger. She had discovered that humanity was not just another species joining galactic civilization. They were something entirely new. 6 hours later, Captain Sarah Chen was cleared for release. Dr. Zix Thala had done everything possible to treat her injuries, but the human body was already healing itself faster than expected. Your bones are setting properly, Zix Thala said, reviewing the latest scans. But you should rest for at least 2 weeks. 2 weeks? Sarah laughed. Doc, I've got cargo contracts to fulfill. Can't stay in bed that long. Captain, you have 17 broken bones. Had 17 broken bones. They're getting better already, it was true. The latest scans showed accelerated bone healing throughout Sarah's body. The fractures were already beginning to knit together. At this rate, she would be fully healed in days instead of weeks. Dr. Zix Thala prepared the discharge paperwork with mixed feelings. She was fascinated by human biology, but worried about letting Sarah leave so soon. In any other species, premature activity would cause permanent damage. Promise me you will avoid heavy physical activity, she said. I'll take it easy. Doc, no heavy lifting for a few days. Across the galaxy, the Galactic Medical Council was sharing Zix Thala's report with government leaders and military commanders. The reaction was immediate and profound. On the Keplerian homeworld, Fleet Admiral Christel read the medical data with growing concern. If humans could function normally with crippling injuries, how could anyone fight them? Traditional military tactics relied on inflicting enough damage to disable enemy forces. Against humans, that might be impossible. 17 broken bones and still conscious, she said to her staff. How do we fight an enemy that cannot be disabled? The Vorthak Empire's military council had the same concerns. Their weapons were designed to cause maximum pain to force surrender. Against humans, pain weapons would be useless. We need to completely rethink our defense strategies, declared General Vorthak. These humans are not like other species. But not all reactions were military. On the peaceful world of Serenity Prime, the governing council saw opportunity instead of threat. If humans can work in environments that kill other species, they could help us expand to worlds we have never been able to colonize, said Counselor Harmony. This could benefit everyone. The medical implications were equally staggering. Dr. Kelvash of the Andromedan Healing Institute immediately began planning research partnerships with human medical schools. If we can understand human healing capabilities, we might be able to develop new treatments for all species, she told her research team. Meanwhile, on the medical station, Sarah was saying goodbye to Dr. Zix Thala. Thanks for patching us up, Doc, she said. Send me the bill. There is no charge, Captain. This has been the most educational medical case of my career. Glad we could help. If you're ever near Earth, look me up. I'll show you around. Sarah headed toward the docking bay where her crew was waiting. Their ship had been repaired enough to limp to the nearest starport for proper maintenance. Dr. Zix Thala watched them leave and wondered what other surprises humans might have. She had learned more about biology in one day than in years of study. But she suspected this was only the beginning. Her communicator chimed. Chairman Korthul appeared on the screen, looking more concerned than she had ever seen him. Dr. Zix Thala, we have received responses from 12 major galactic governments. They all want more information about human capabilities. What kind of information? Military applications primarily. If humans can survive injuries that disable other species, every government wants to know their combat potential. Zix Thala felt a chill in her crystalline core. Chairman, these humans seem peaceful. They showed no aggression during treatment. Perhaps. But peaceful does not mean harmless. We need to understand what we are dealing with. The transmission ended, leaving Zix Thala alone with troubling thoughts. She had set out to heal injured patients. Instead, she had discovered something that might change the balance of power in the galaxy. She accessed her computer and began writing a personal message to Captain Chen. If humans were about to be studied and analyzed by every government in the galaxy, they deserved to know. 2 days later, Sarah received the message while her ship was docked at Titan Station for repairs. She read it twice before calling her crew together. "We might have a problem," she told them. "That doctor who treated us? She's been reporting our medical data to the Galactic Council." "So?" asked Martinez. "We didn't do anything wrong." "No, but apparently we impressed them a little too much. They're calling us unprecedented and beyond all known biological limits." Park looked up from the engine report he was reading. "That sounds good, doesn't it?" "Maybe. Or maybe it makes us look like threats. Hard to tell with aliens." Johnson pulled up the galactic news feeds on her tablet. "Captain, you should see this." The headlines were alarming. "Human pain tolerance challenges galactic assumptions. New species shows impossible injury survival. Military implications of human toughness under review." "Great," Sarah said. "Now everyone in the galaxy thinks we're some kind of super soldiers, aren't we?" Torres asked. "I mean, 17 broken bones and you were still giving orders. That's just normal human stuff. Everyone back home could do the same thing." "Maybe that's the problem," Martinez said. "Normal for us is impossible for them." Sarah thought about the alien doctors who had stared at her in amazement. She remembered their shock when she described working with broken ribs or walking on a fractured leg. Things that seemed ordinary to humans were apparently miraculous to other species. "We need to be careful," she said. "If aliens think we're too tough, they might decide we're too dangerous." But it was too late for caution. Across the galaxy, human capabilities were being discussed in government chambers and military briefings. Some species saw humans as potential allies who could help them expand into hostile environments. Others saw them as threats that could not be stopped by conventional means. On Earth, the human government was receiving formal communications from dozens of alien civilizations. Some wanted to hire human workers for dangerous jobs. Others wanted to study human biology. A few were making subtle threats about the need to monitor human expansion. Dr. Zixthala continued her research. But now she was not just studying human biology. She was trying to understand the political storm her medical report had created. She had learned that humans were tough beyond imagination. They could survive injuries that would kill other species, work in environments that were considered uninhabitable, and continue functioning through pain that should cause unconsciousness. But she was also learning that being exceptional could be dangerous. In a galaxy where most species were roughly equal in capabilities, humans stood out dramatically. That kind of difference made other governments nervous. 6 months later, Dr. Zixthala received another message from Captain Chen. Sarah's ship had been hired by 3 different alien governments for hazardous cargo runs that no other species could handle. The jobs paid extremely well, but they were incredibly dangerous. "Turns out being tough is good for business," Sarah wrote. "We're getting contracts no one else can take. High pay, high risk, high adventure. Just the way humans like it." Zixthala smiled as she read the message. Whatever challenges lay ahead, she was certain that humans would face them the same way they faced everything else, with stubborn determination and an refusal to quit. The galaxy had discovered that humans were not just another species. They were survivors, fighters, and explorers who thrived in conditions that killed others. Whether that made them valuable allies or dangerous enemies would depend on how wisely both sides handled their first contact. But one thing was certain: the galaxy would never be the same. Dr. Zixthala updated her medical files one final time. Under the entry for species human, she wrote, "Pain tolerance unmeasurable. Survival capacity extreme. Threat assessment unknown, but recommend immediate diplomatic relations." Then she added a personal note: "Fascinating beings who redefine the possible. Approach with respect and caution." Outside her window, human ships were already beginning to appear at the medical station. Word was spreading that humans could take jobs too dangerous for other species. The brave new galaxy was just beginning.